All right, good afternoon. My name is Paul Stewart, and I'll be doing a presentation today for my speech today for my communication class. It is entitled Becoming a Marine, 3 Months of Hell. I don't know, has anyone in here, or is anyone part military at all? Or has anyone had a desire to become a Marine at all, in the past?
A little bit.
Okay. It is the longest boot camp, in that it is 13 weeks, and it is the most difficult. What I will first of all is explain to you the transition from leaving home, going to boot camp. Then secondly, I'll explain to you the 3 phases of Marine Corps boot camp. And then thirdly, what I'll do is I'll tell you about becoming a Marine. The first thing you do, obviously, is you're leaving your family, your known environment, saying goodbye to everyone, and you take a flight. Once you land, there are 2 places that you can go from Texas. You have a choice because we're centrally located. You can go to North Carolina, to boot camp there, or San Diego. I chose to go to San Diego. Most recently,
Yeah.
California. But it is by no means easier. First thing, once you land in the airport, you're all taken on a bus, and you're bused to MCRD, Marine Corps Recruitment. That's where you meet your drill instructor for the first time, and you've seen movies where they are coming on the bus and they're yelling at you. That is actually true. You're rushed off the bus, you're lined up, everyone's lined up with their foot on the line, and you're immediately taken in to the barber shop where you get your first shave. You may not know it now, but when I actually entered the Marine Corps, my hair was down on my shoulders. And the first thing they do is they grab you right here, and the first cut is right down the middle.
Everyone.
Yes. The barber, first thing they tell you is point out all moles and birthmarks. If you don't, they're gone. So you certainly, if you got a mole up here, you want to point out. But once it's cut down here, obviously there's no going back. And you'd be surprised that the people that you're lined up with, once you come out the other side, you don't even recognize them. Because they got no hair. Now they're all white head and you don't even know who they are. But that's your first introduction. And you line back up and you are taken to get what is called your C-bag or your duffel bag, which is where all your gear will be kept. And then you're taken to your barracks. And this is where you're introduced to what your barracks will look like. You're taken out of your clothes, you put in your camouflage, boots, cover, which is your hat, and then you're taken back outside. And so this is your first introduction. When you're, and then you start doing your exercises, and get into some sort of physical shape. You'll find out that there's no hair that is allowed, and the drill instructor will actually, when you have to go back in and you're shaving and you're cleaning up, you're shaving from here on down. You're making sure there's actually no hair, no facial hair. And they will actually come with a flashlight and check to make sure that you get it right. If you don't, then that's your first indication that you're going to start having problems, because they will actually dry shave you, which is not fun. Guys have done that. Know about dry shaving. That's when you start getting ingrown hairs and stuff, because you have no lubrication. So everyone is assigned a bunk bed. So you've got 2 bunk beds. You've got your foot locker, which is where all your gear will be kept. And everything you'll find out is done in order and on time. Nothing is out of order. So this is the first phase. Then you go through your first phase. The first phase of Marine Corps boot camp is the most difficult. That's breaking you from what you are and transitioning you into what you want to become, a Marine. At this point, you consider absolutely nothing. You're not even, first of all, you better not call yourself a Marine. You're a recruit or a maggot or sometimes worse. But this is the first thing. So you learn what is how to line up in a battalion, which everyone's in 4 rows. You have a squad leader across the top and a designated guide. The guide is the leader of the platoon. He's the person that's right along the drill instructor. This is where you're introduced, where your exercises you're gonna have to learn how to endure, obstacle courses, your drills, your forced marches. This is what will really have you questioning whether you made the right decision or not, because it is the most difficult phase to get through. Then you got your classrooms, education, which most people don't know about. I didn't know about, according to the Marine Corps. But you have to learn about the history of the Marine Corps. You have to learn about the history of wars in the United States, and you're tested over all this information. And you have to pass those tests, or you will not graduate. You will not make it through. So there's a lot of information that we all think is physical, but there's a lot of education that goes along with it as well. This is also where you learn about what a battalion is, what a series is, what a company is, and all these things that make up the formation of the military. You also learn at this point what is called reveille and what are called taps. Reveille is what you wake up to in the morning. You've heard the bugle. Dun, 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 dun. That's reveille. And that's what you wake up to in the morning. Taps is what you hear in the evening every night, and that's what they call lights out. That's what you hear, that the bugle that is played at funerals, at ceremonies, that's called taps. My object that I'm using in this class to reference this presentation is the flag. The reason why I chose the U.S. flag is because that is a symbol for freedom for everyone. You also learn that as you are marching or wherever you're going, whenever a flag is being raised, you will stop and salute it. Whenever a flag is being lowered, you stop and salute it. And the flag must never touch the ground. That's disgracing the flag. So you're never allowed to let it touch the ground. Then you go into, once you get into the first phase, and you're in some sort of shape, and that's about a month. Then you go into second phase. Second phase is your field training. That's when you're actually going out and going to the firing range. So you're learning how to shoot rifles, pistols. It's where you're learning how to survive in combat type of situations. It's where you're doing night combat maneuvers, where you're seeing tracers, ammo that's shot, where you're going through live rounds. This is where you're learning how to survive on C rations, and we used to call it, now I think they call SRTs, or prepackaged food that you got to prepare in order to survive out there. This is where you're going on force marches. You see a lot of injuries during this time because a lot of these force marches are done in the evening or at night. Because in combat, you don't have the luxury of doing all this during the daytime. You've seen people fall off sides of mountains and roll down and break their legs. These are real life issues that you got to learn how to deal with. This is where also that if you don't pass the rifle for marksmanship or expert at different levels, you will fail and you will be pushed back to the first phase. So all of these things you're tested on. If you don't pass them, you fall back to the phase before. The third phase is what is called spit and polish. Once you come back from out in the field and you've survived out there, then this is where you will actually start to put everything together that you've learned. How you learn now how to march, how you learn to drill, how you've survived out there. You know what the physical fitness is all about. This is where you learn about what is called spit and polish, where you learn to spit polish your shoes, your boots, where you're actually dressed and starting to look like what a Marine looks like. This is where everything starts to make sense. This is also where the platoons are put together and start to compete against one another at this phase. Every company is awarded, or you got a guide that goes up against each other. So you got a series on a man, or the 4 platoons that make up a series. The guys compete against each other, and you're awarded a series on a man. Then that person goes up against the 4 series to make up a company, to be awarded a company on a man, and then a battalion on a man. And if you get those awards are sent to your parents, in your name and their prestigious awards. Very, 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 very difficult to gain these. But this is where you get the pride of becoming and representing your squad. This is also where you are measured in the third phase for your uniform, your dress uniform, your greens or your blues. There is one set of blues that are awarded for each platoon, and that's the guide. The guide is the only person that gets awarded the dress blues. And that's when you see them marching down the parade deck. That is the person that is in front of the whole platoon, is carrying the flag, and he's in his dress blues. So 4 platoons make up a series, 4 series make up a company, and then 4 companies make up a battalion. So then after the third phase, you're ready for graduation, and this is where it's all go together. You're ready for graduation, but until you graduate, you're still not allowed to call yourself a Marine. So first I told you that you're going to learn about leaving home and entering boot camp. Then I told you secondly that you're going to learn about the 3 phases of boot camp. And then lastly, I told you I was going to tell you about becoming a Marine. After you've been tested academically, after you've been tested physically, and the guide is awarded the dress blues, then you go to your graduation ceremony. And this is what everyone is in that battalion is going on the parade deck, and you are going by your commanding officers, and you're saluting them for the last time. And this is where, once you graduate, you're now allowed to call yourself a Marine. But not into that. So, I told you all about who gets awarded the dress blues. I was the guy. I was awarded my dress blues out of boot camp. I was not only awarded the guy, but I was also the series on man and the company on man. So I got all the way up. I was not awarded the battalion on man, that's why I lost. But those are some of the things that you carry with you for the rest of your life. And my mom still has awards on the wall from when I was 18 years old. So I want to thank you all for your time. Thank you for spending some of your lunch hour with me. But now you're a little bit more educated on what the cycle is and what the hardships and the hell you're going to become. Thank you very much.
Woo!